time to get to our second game of the last day of the grand final. Miramar's on the way. Let's head over to the casters.
Waffles and all the information that you could possibly need. Thank you so much, guys, on the analyst desk, as we're going to be moving into our last Miramar of this event. After this, we're going to be moving into Tego and Aaron Guild around everything else. So if Miramar is your map, this is where you got to make something work.
Indeed, it is. Last opportunity to rack up points here on the sandy dunes, dusted dunes, whatever you want to call them. This is now time for you if you want to get anything extra on the board. And I think, honestly, we have seen over the tournament so far teams favoring Miramar, especially in terms of how they've been able to rack up points. So if you don't do it now, sad truth, it's the last one of its kind.
Everybody can come on down with me on this Miramar bandwagon. Man, I love this map. I know players keep talking about the fact that they keep finding more and more comfort on it as well.
I want to say sorry, but not to interrupt, but not only is it the last Miramar of the tournament, it's the last Miramar before the remaster. So not only if you like Miramar, but if you like Miramar in its current shape, if you don't like zip lines for whatever reason, because I think they're going to be fun, well, enjoy Miramar now, because you have about 30-some minutes, depending on how long you stay alive, left to do so. Because we already know now that coming into PNC next month, it's going to be the new iteration of Miramar in play.
Bye, Trailer Park.
Bye, Trailer Park.
You've been there for me through all of this time.
Oh, we should have written a little anthem.
I know, dude.
A little in memoriam for some of this.
What am I going to do without my Trailer Park meme now? It's
exactly
end of an era.
That's a new circle.
I'm so surprised. We're going to the south.
Now, please, Matcham, would you please repeat everything that we said in the previous games about bottlenecks? Go.
Sure. As we're far, you want to talk about bottlenecks. If you're looking at the north and south, there's a lot of opportunities to be had there. As we're looking at the hillside, but let's not forget Los Leones is going to be a no man's land that nobody's going to want to go around. To the north and to the east of that, it's going to be some hillsides that a lot of teams are going to want to try to use to get information off of the get-go. But the fields to the west of Los Leones are going to be scary for a lot of these teams to deal with. And we already got close-range firefights kicking this one off.
Yep, Xiaoyang trying to fend off here against Duck Juice. Maybe it's more so the other way around. Duck Juice has himself a pump-action shotgun in hand. We'll see what he can make happen with it. There's no cavalry here, at least not for him, as the entirety of Tai Lu is pulling up, trying to fortify for Xiaoyang. So issue for Duck Juice is no one's here. Good thing for Xiaoyang as he's bought enough time for his teammates to pull up.
What do you do with the shotgun? If you step out, you might be able to get something, but you could be revealing yourself. Reinforcements now finally managing to land, moving in. I like the fact that they're wrapping around to jump Juice's side on this one. He hears the footsteps inside the building and instead going to lean into using this defense. 777, though, playing the opposing side, so full-on crossfire trying to be set up here.
It was initially the play of Duck Juice, of Xiaoyang playing it slow. Now it's Duck Juice doing the same thing. And the issue right now for Expendables is that in a second's time, the entirety of Expendables will be here. 755 is still far down towards the south, so it's going to be a 4v3 in the favor of Expendables. Should this fight come to a close quickly?
It's a very hard angle to try to defend in, so Tanfu's going to come in and just make sure that they have the numbers advantage for any potential push that can happen here. Reinforces Boy right as it's going to be going down. Long's also going to get some vision at range, kind of shoo away what's going to be going on with this Expendables reposition, but shotguns now both sides.
Expendables in this tournament in particular, in the finals as well. I mean, first we see 777 back-to-back Wrangle games get run over in the very beginning of the game. He's been going down much earlier than what Expendables would have wanted, so have never really been able to get off to just a somewhat decent start when you look back to all the good games they've had in the losers bracket and winners bracket as well, really. Here, it's just every single time they've come into a new game gone, great, let's not do crazy shenanigans this time. Stuff like this has happened.
And this is a very low economy fight. As you can see, a lot of the players not dealing with their prime loadouts, to say the least. Not a lot of meds, not a lot of durables. 777 is going to get flushed. It's also one of the things that we need to point out. The meds situation is not looking the best over on the Tai Lu side either. So while you are getting the damage out, you have to realize it's all going to be about how much more you can kind of just stockpile it. But the Expendables don't want that risk. They're going to go ahead and hop in a vehicle at roughly the same time that Navi's going to be pathing by. Oh, this could be a problem, but that hillside should provide some safety. They might actually just bisect right on top of each other if not careful, though.
I'd be surprised if they fully commit to it. While it is, it's not just too ill-advised of them to take the fight at a distance, but now this is turning into a run on Melman. It's here, but he hasn't reloaded yet. Alia falls down. Melman needs to reload. Tanvu takes him out. The numbers advantage is in favor of Expendables, but Duck Juice shoots Tanvu in the back of his head. I'm not sure that was planned for at all, but here comes Example. Here comes Uber saying, oh wait, you're actually giving us a chance to turn this around?
And let's not forget about Tyloo running right up on top of this. What are we going to see, Na'Vi? How do they make the modifications? One big nade is going to be all it takes. Can they get the bounce? It looks like it's going to go right up into that pocket. Yep, hit some damage onto it. Duck Juice in some trouble. And we were talking about, look at this, Uzis, shotguns. This isn't the tools you want for this firefight.
What is going on? We talked southern rotation. We talked it being tricky. This plane path was simple. This circle they have just played without any issues whatsoever. But here we are, chaos galore, as Duck Juice now with the Uzi in hand is trying to stay alive down on the southern side. Shen pulling up with a sawn-off as his spare weapon, trying to deal with expendables. And you can see even the crowd are laughing it off. Let's have 755 finds his kill number 2 with a UMP on the final day of the PGS2 Grand Finals. What in the world did we just witness?
17 rounds, it's all you need, right? Try to make something happen there. While this has been going on, you can see that Na'Vi is trying to get away from Cerberus.
He lost 3.
Looking through, yeah, they're going to have a very difficult rotation ahead of them, as there's not going to be too many good options that it's going to be for solos to play. It's just going to be a couple of dips that they can kind of hide out in over here. Yes, there are some shacks, but I don't think that that's the way Uba likes to play the game.
No.
Also want to point out, 17 Gaming did make a commitment into Los Leones on the circle already.
It's been a wild one. You know what I mean? If we're gonna send off this iteration of Miramar, might as well do it with a big old explosion, and that right there, at least to kick things off, it sure was just that. Let's see, Cerberus, as you said, trying to rotate down on the southern side, and Sonics taking their time again. They've played this one plenty of times, and they're rotating in very similar fashion. Come in slow, then wrap in eventually on the southern side of this circle, and try and see what you can claim from there.
And again, it's just been that northwestern pathing.
Yeah.
Southwestern pathing, I'm sorry. Time and time again, that has just found massive success. And yeah, there is our guys that Jackie was talking about just a moment ago.
The
Flew in
fans.
all the way from LA to see this. So big love, big respect to them.
Love the commitment. Love the commitment. Twisted Minds as well trying to, of course, maintain control of that first place spot throughout the day. They would really want to claim the trophy, as they have been so close in so many different times, but just never been able to bring it home.
Looking in, we have a couple of later rotations in this one. No big needs, as yes, Los Leones is centered. Everybody pretty familiar with how the rotations are going to go inside the circle at this stage. So instead, just kind of play for a more equipped firefight, because that's what we've been seeing the thing. Get into positions early, then maybe try to loot in the circle afterwards, or just make a very heavy commitment into getting loot. Maybe find yourself an emergency pickup, as there are a couple of good places to jump into the circle.
And one of the things that is interesting here is, as much as it's very similar to the previous circle, it is a little bit further towards the north. Now, last game, it instantly super hard shifted south on phase 2, but there's still plenty of space up north of Los Leones, but not really anyone up there claiming that space. 4 AM, the only team on the northern side of the city that is currently sat inside the circle. There are still a few teams making their way down here, but should this next circle swing up in that direction, again, Los Leones, big city, becomes a huge factor in how do you rotate when you can't go through the center.
Falcons are a team that tends to drop around Los Leones. They opted into playing to the south. They've already got Danowell right up on top of them. Question mark's going to be right there. Just the outskirts of that's going to be Twisted Minds. You can see Sonics coming in, surprise, surprise, in the southwest, as they are going to be pretty close to Twisted Minds right now. A couple of shots going to go out between them, but nothing really too crazy. These aren't two teams that are just going to be chomping at the bit for a firefight at this stage.
Sonics as well, a team who over the last years, of course, come up victorious during PGIS, but since then have really had a hard time getting anything going. So in the global stage, they change up the coaches. They get, I think, a little more help in terms of staying motivated, staying focused, even through bad times in tournaments. They slow down the pace here. I feel like we're seeing a whole new global stage Sonics from what we've seen in the past. The control they're playing with, I'm loving the changes that we've seen. It's not much, but it's what transfers them from going with an 8-kill 7th place to a 6-kill win, which in the end is going to rack them up that many more points. I love what I'm seeing.
There is so much to be said about the mental. Everybody here has such phenomenal aim. That's not going to be what you can lean into to fight your way through everything, right? You have to be coming in with strategy. You have to be able to rebound off of it. The strongest teams are the ones that we can see are just usually the most mentally resilient. And I love the fact that now we're starting to see a lot of our regions get cemented in their mindset, starting to find more and more of their confidence. I mean, just look at Question Mark. Well, it's not always flashy. They're presently in 3rd place, and you guys say they deserve it. They haven't been gifted anything.
And that's where the difference is from from when you play 12 to when you play 18 games. While the teams might not always come out with a lot of points, it's the teams that get 4, 5, 6 points every single game that'll come out with the win in the end. Now, here we see Forest trying to full speed send it through in very similar fashion from what we saw from Game PT in the previous one. If we just keep driving, no one's going to shoot at us, but once again, we're proving that that does not work.
Down on both sides is it's just kind of roaming around over here in this Impala Fields location. Not the highest quality of position you necessarily want to firefight for, as it is going to be kind of a run and gun around the circle. He's going to pop and go down into the southeast. Keeps a good section of Puerto. We have some water in play, but this has been a circle we've seen a few times, so the players should be pretty familiar with how they're wanting to navigate it.
Indeed we have, but not with that first circle. This is a surprise, I think, to a big portion of the teams, as well as a lot of the viewers out there, because again, how do you rotate into it? If you're still out on the northwest side, this is going to be hard. 3rd on 5, going to fly straight on, and Uber is in for a surprise because there's an entire Thai team coming right for his building. And honestly, while I've questioned 3rd on 5's engagements in some of these early game emergency pickups, their timing on this one was perfect.
Uba, let's just be honest, you pretty screwed right now, buddy. As you got Cerberus on the other side, you got T5 that just landed on top of you. You've got a compound. You're just hoping that Cerberus wants to go a bit more. He found himself too centered, and that means the fact that everybody wants to make the play into this.
Yeah.
If he can find a way to survive, great, but he is essentially just playing a stealth game from the stage.
Trying to stay prone, trying to rack up a few extra points. They are still set in 8th place. It's not done for Na'Vi yet. We know that they can go out instantly and just pull up a 17-kill win, so they're still very much in it. But if Uber could rack up just a few more here, that would make this game go from a horrible game to a, well, at least we got 4.
Throwables, he's got himself the stairwell. I mean, we've often seen stairwell is very strong to have to navigate. He can also get away from the blue zone nade. This is a lot of utility trying to get rid of this rat here.
That setup was perfect. They threw the blue zone nade in. There was only one spot Uber could sit in. They isolated him in the southeast corner. Unluckily for him, as that nade didn't go through, but that was clear as day. This is something they prepared. Throw the molly in, or throw the blue zone nade in, isolate, force him to sit in one specific spot, and then get the nade on in. Unluckily for him, as though couldn't quite find the nade, as we're now seeing Danoa taking casualties as they try to make their way out of Los Leones.
Throwing some smokes in, trying to slow down the pacing of this. Genji does have some supervision in this firefight, and they've been taking some shots into it. The T5 Forest skirmish also just continuing to be
Are they
problems.
all on the roof?
This is just kind of the symptom of the circle, right? There's a lot of verticality, a lot of trenches. You can see a couple of teams now already trying to lean in this, most notably Danoa's positioning.
Yeah, trying to claim a few more spots, and with all the shots and smokes they're seeing and hearing, obviously they're gonna want to try and claim a few extra points off it. We're reaching a point where, I mean, the leaderboard is starting to be written up in stone, and if you want to make any changes to that, it better be now.
It's very, very compacted in different sections, so we'll have to see is this is your opportunity. If you can try to exploit this, and this is going to be T5 trying to make sure that they can. With all that's kind of going on over here, Cerberus does have Isaki that's still playing around that Porto line. They don't want to make too much of a commitment in.
Yeah.
They want to make sure that they're keeping an eye on what's going to be coming in over there. Nobody going Porto, though, already assuming the fact that it's packed.
And it makes perfect sense for Isaki to sit down there, try and hold the back, because if they do go into a proper, like, full-on fight, keep in mind they're not necessarily sure that it's just one guy upstairs. If anyone pulls up on them from behind, they're toast. So it makes perfect sense to have, since you have 4 players alive, might as well just go up, aggress with 3, hold off the angle, wait for Uber to potentially make a mistake, and then clear out the compound.
It's just how much utility does Uba have to stall this? You can see now making the push up the stairwell. Prepped everything. He's got that flash out. Oh, it doesn't go around the doorway. Are we going to see Cerberus try to exploit that? They're dancing with the idea. Nobody wants this. They know it does not feel good. Baits out the nade, though. I like this. Now he's going to lean into the angle, see if anybody goes for the peek around. Goes for the spray. Doesn't connect the way he wants. He's going to be on the receiving end of that damage. Cerberus realizes just going to push up, and that's going to be Na'Vi going down.
And what better for them? We saw a headshot coming through from Forest, far up from the other side. It was like, oh, we saw a headshot come through. You saw blood. You heard the shot. Great, let's push now. Wow, Cerberus, a little bit of help there. We've seen it so many times where even though you're an entire team pushing a solo, sometimes that solo comes out victorious. But this time around, Na'Vi are going to fall in 15th.
Twisted Minds looks like they've got their eyes on this dip. Stop right up before the weakened Danoa, just in front of them. So Forest is going to be playing, again, the other side of that dip and kind of make a triangle of we really can't peek anymore, as it is going to be 17 Gaming, Tyloo at range, and now Cerberus that's going to have some oversight on this.
Curious to see how long, especially with the compound now cleared, Cerberus is going to try and maintain this, but Haisage has just shut down towards the south as our focus goes back towards the north. Oh, they know where they are. They saw them. They saw them. Xiaowu just goes over the top once more to confirm. Let's see for how long Twisted Minds gets to stay in this dip as Xiaowu is lining up the shots. He's got the ruler on out. We're setting it up to 193 meters as the calculations come through. Make that 92, just to be sure.
I was going to say, that might be
there we go.
A bit far. We'll have to see how it lands in. Goes for the pop-off. Our Twisted Minds.
Double checking.
Just
Always have a spotter. Always have a spotter. There comes the shot. Nothing done, a little far off to the west, but if it goes just a bit more west here, that, my friends, is a jackpot.
Bring it in just a bit more, and you can dial it down. I'd say there is a big opportunity. Even if you can take out vehicles at this stage, that's going to be
You can blow out all of them. You can blow up all of them with 2 mortars here. That would be huge.
And inside that dip, those vehicles can fly around, do all kinds of crazy stuff. It does look like he pulled back on it just a bit. Yep. Watching the skies. Nope, here comes more of them. You just got to sit here and watch. You can see imagine just being in this dip and getting closer every single time they pop in.
Xiao Bei, you got to feed the information across as these shots ain't hitting. That was 5. Make that 6 shots, all fired, all missed. Clearly, the rulers aren't in play right now as we're going too far towards the western side. Maybe it's a left-right communication issue. I'm not sure. But Twisted Minds not only do they live through the barrage, but they get a knock on a Forest player, which might actually allow them to pull up now.
And now just trying to get out of the situation. Like, no, you can go ahead. You can have that one. We don't want to stay in this position. The longer they stay in, the more it's going to be beaten in. So roll back down into this dip. They're going to find themselves rewarded with at least 1 crate, as that is a weakened Forest that had to shift into that other dip. And it's going to be Cerberus, after what happened with Uba, that's got a sight line into a good section of this.
What a knock. Through all the chaos of Twisted Minds trying to dodge those mortars, they still turn around. They still find a double headshot and then inside.
Flush out, best of luck, and is he feeling too good over there either?
He's got to get this fight done with quickly. As you said, the circle has popped. It's far away. It's phase 4 damage that are going to be coming through. Gustavo heard the footsteps from Dante. Can't quite connect the only one tag. As now Gen G further inside the circle, hearing these shots too, will obviously try and set up some sort of play on this as they play on the eastern side of the building. James swings, finds one. Vex finds the other. Now it's just a deuce in it. He finds one, but the instant trade is there.
While this is happening, Falcons have hopped in their vehicles. They're sitting at the T5's position while a gate-kept wall is being set up by Gen G from here. Looks like we are going to see Falcons just trying to run right through everything. That is going to be Sonics that get some vision in. A couple of knocks have come out for Angry Men, though. They've got themselves a problem, and it is going to be, if you mind, a game PT that's just going to be to the east of them.
Yeah, really, again, similar situation to FaceClan here. Want to deal with them as fast and as best as they can. 3rd on 5 on the roof. It's all good fun when no one's looking at you, but now they're trying to find a team down below them and stay without, like, not within vision from the opposing teams towards the north that can see them on that roof. Capitan should fall to that molly. Yes, he does. 3rd on 5 gets a couple more kills as they rag up the entirety of Team Falcons.
Didn't have too many good pathing options with that one. Sonic were taking shots in the rotation. We do see FaZe already inside of vehicles. They're trying to wrap around the Gen G position down to the south of this. Looks like they're going to be able to get by most of it just using that hillside. But Gen G is running a 2-1-1, so it's not like you could really get too far away from anything that's going to be going on.
Also, I mean, Gen G are going to see and hear this, and they're going to play the circle in much more of a much more priority to trying to take a fight outside the circle to FaceClan. So imagine them sitting up inside the circle, preparing for this Na'Vi team, FaceClan, team to push on through.
But if you mind, Game PT is also going to be shifting in. EJ spotted that, and it looks like hearing the vehicles, Gen G is making a much more eastern lean in their defenses. 17 Gaming just moving, creeping down the hillside. We saw them not having to make the biggest of moves. They do have Tyloo that has a line in front of them. Little Ghost having to kind of navigate this one down, taking some shots, and kind of taking over the position that they were harassing just a moment ago. And this is one of the reasons why they were harassing it, is they knew the fact that they were highly likelihood going to have to move down here.
Exactly. Eventually, that they did have to move, but how will they be able to get out of there come next circle? Of course, we're not sure where this one is going to take us, as we are moving into phase 5 territory. Speaking of phase, here they are. Taemin trying to wrap around the western side. It's Gen G trying to regroup, but FaZe well aware of pretty much exactly where they have Gen G ahead of him.
FaZe timed this very, very well on their approach. Very beneficial for them. It's going to be also Jeems wrapping more into that. He's going to be getting very close to EJ. A couple of shots, but he wants this flank position. He's got to stay alive. He's got to open up an opportunity for his team to try to flank in. Back behind this one, you can see the shots already coming out from Circle. Going to move the entirety of the opposite direction, favoring that Sonics Danawa trifecta that we've been talking about for quite a while. Jeems now, though, has to be very careful, as it is going to be, if you mind, Game PT coming up right back behind him.
This is a dangerous 1v1 that Jeems has to win very quickly, but there comes the DBS. 2 shots fired, 2 shots needed in order to take down the in-game lead for FaZe Clan. Instantly after, though, EJ realized, okay, there's another team about to pop off. Spabsanghead is here. Him as from a distance finds Taemin as well. So many teams now eyeing this southern side of the circle.
FaZe making a much more concentrated commitment into that Gen G line. They're trying to make sure that they can get something out of this when they're realizing that they want to get some kills, get some points before they have to move into a very defended T5 line of defense. Spabsanghead is going to go down, but most of this is going to be coming out from Cerberus, who shifted in. They're going to have to move into that T5 line as well, and they see a plethora of targets in front of them.
Cerberus is trying to herd all these teams together, trying to force a massive fight to pop off, of which they can get a couple of kills, because they know eventually all these players have to come towards us. So the more damage that we can do to them now, the better off we're going to be.
DG98 got that nade prepped up. Can he at least shoo FaZe from this position, make it to where they only have to deal with one team at a time? FaZe kind of caught off over here. Keep in mind, there's a field directly to the north of this that these teams are going to have to navigate. Yeah, there's a sprinkler, but that's not real cover to try to navigate running through a wide open terrain piece.
Especially not with 3rd and 5 still having players on the roof. It's so easy for them to spot all these FaZe, Gen G, and Game PT players, which is why you see them trying to force this fight. Tycoon, though, double headshot onto EJ. The rest might come through, but that's a lot of damage done and a helmet removed.
DG's just going to hop inside of a vehicle. He's going to send it out, try to get past everything that's going to be going on over here. Tycoon just holding the line for his squad. Every single knock going to be massive. They need every point that they can try to get. PO left back behind, trying to defend this, and Hella going to commit into a res right now. Blue Zone going to be coming in. I don't know what you're trying to accomplish out of this. I think that this is just going to say, maybe we could try to out-survive somebody, but there's 12 teams still alive.
Able to get the first hit off. Hella might be able to backstab PO. PO didn't see the final kill come through, and now that has him worried. Constantly looking over the shoulder. He's the one that you should play the Snake solo position, but we'll see in the kill feed in a moment if he's going to come out alive. Cerberus now in the meantime trying to pop on over the other side. Tycoon finds one. Scabby finds one. Easy cleanup for Cerberus to claim the spot on the other side.
Here's the problem, though. We still have a lot of contenders for this position. Throwables now starting to come out. Twisted Minds do have their focus and their eyes set a bit more up there, but man, one good nade is all it takes.
Yep, they were all down, they were all knocked, and not only do they get the kills on the players alive, they also get the flushes on through on the players on the other side. Twisted Minds continuing to rack up points as they try and maintain that first place spot.
Everything now is settling down a bit more. Tylu's had to shift into more of a 4 angry men line, but Twisted Minds making the best of a bad situation. Tylu does spot out that 4 angry men rotation as 4 angry men just getting more and more casualties. They're going to get taken out. Circle is going to shift back down to the south, heavily favoring this reposition coming out from FaZe as well as Sonics. T5, I think, lose most of their compound.
Yeah, with how T5 has been able to play this roof successfully as well and been able to hold off people, there's so much space now for them to try and maneuver out. The issue is Sonics has an angle, Twisted Minds has an angle, the 2 remaining players from Dynamo has an angle. It's going to be very difficult, even though there's technically space available, as you can see here, for them to take advantage of it because of how the terrain just goes uphill straight into opposition.
This gets me very, very nervous. Tylu's positioning closer and closer by the second to Twisted Minds. 17 Gaming also going to have to make some odd moves. They've got the road in front of them just wide out in the open. Tylu, you can see, kind of caught up looking at them at the time. So the 2 squads that are going to predominantly going to have to be making the more desperate moves in this circle, kind of holding each other out at the time, and just Twisted Minds in between them, realizing they oddly don't have to move. This is kind of like a very weird situation for them just to kind of bunker down and just pray a nade doesn't roll right up on top of him.
Exactly. Tyloo really saying, 17, can you look the other way while we take a fight to Twisted Minds? Because there's no way Tyloo can peek into this circle at all without both Sonics, potentially Dynamo, maybe not, but at least Sonics and 17 shooting at them on approach. And you can be sure that Twisted Minds is going to be looking up here as well as soon as those players from the west shoot. We can see Shen, that's the amount of time he has to peek on over before a headshot comes through the other way.
And yes, for everybody that's looking at the map, Tyloo can shift down into the east. There is that area just down below them. But remember, there was a squad just south of Twisted Minds a second ago, and one nade just absolutely demolished him. That's one of the reasons why there's so much hesitation coming out from Tyloo on here, because they know if they move down there, they're just putting themselves in a very disadvantageous position to where Twisted Minds is presently playing.
Also, Tyloo doesn't know exactly where all the Twisted Minds players are set. You can see them still nading the dip down on that southern side, down towards where Cerberus were just taken out. So they clearly don't have all the information needed, because if they knew it was available, then sure, they would probably have gone for it, but they don't. And it's stuff like this that they need. They need some knocks now. They need to open an entry, maybe in on the southwestern side. Hatsuat falls. Is that going to allow for Tyloo to make a Hail Mary sent down towards the south?
They haven't been able to really move down into the east due to that positioning from T5, but T5 finally having to leave their compound up on top of it, surrendering that high ground. If you're going to make a move, you've got this knock. This is the time to do so. Smokes are going to come out. You can see Shin going to be playing back behind. Looks like he's going to be trying to cover up, making sure that he can get the most for his teammates. But while this is going on, you can see 17 Gaming starting to leapfrog forward. They've thrown out the smokes. They want to get a nade right into the thick of Twisted Minds.
And that is the issue right here, is that Twisted Minds cannot fully focus south, because here comes a team on the other side. Twisted Minds able to find two, as two knocks come in return as well. But Tulans and Perfectix are the only ones left alive, trying to clear this out as fast as possible as Perfectix finds the third. Just Lil Ghost left on his feet, down to low HP as well. He's going to be forced down to heal on up. So for now, it's quiet. But the issue is here comes Tyloo from the south.
Tyloo looks into the backside of this one. They want to try to get some more out of it. It's going to be a very desperate position to try to play from right now, just trying to cling into any form of life. Perfectix up in the face of Lil Ghost as a circle is going to continue to go down in the south. Danoa really can't get too much more out of this. They're just throwing whatever they can into it. It's just, what do you have in your hands, and just throw it that direction, as even vehicles burning or rolling down this hillside.
Exactly. Perfectix trying to run on over, trying to get the kill, but Tiggleton stops the fun on the northeast side. Somehow Lil Ghost is able to stay alive, and Tyloo, they took their time. They were patient. They said, let chaos commence. We will take advantage of it. They stay alive with all four up.
It is going to be a shift in theme in this circle, though, as high ground advantage for the Sonics. Looking into a lot of these dips. Look at this position that they've got to play from. Every peak, though, is going to have a ton of these teams looking back their direction, but you can see DMR is already starting to come out. Bolty's lined in, looking into what's going to be happening.
Attention bait here on the other side of Tyloo. They saw, I think Third on 5 thought that if we just stay here, we're going to be fine with Sonics, because Tyloo had yet to shoot over in that direction. But as soon as they reveal themselves, there's the entirety of Tyloo shooting in their direction. Luckily for them, Sonics doing what they can to allow them to get the rest on through, as Rusty said, does commit to it, and that's what gets back on his feet.
Odd man out on this one's going to be Lil Ghost, as he's still just kind of clinging over there next to Tyloo. Not too much more that he can do. He's going to have to fight his way through the entirety of the squad to make some type of play. Lots of wreckage, lots of bodies, lots of crates. Probably not a lot to take from it, though.
No, utility will have been spent. Helmets and vests should most definitely be broken at this point on anyone in that area. But now let's see here. Tyloo, they've made one good rotation so far in trying to wrap underneath Twisted Minds. Will they be able to cross the street here as well, though, with Sonic's Lumen up towards the north?
They've got it prepped out. The smokes, just waiting for them full plume. You can see that maybe they can send something. We do have Danoa that's kind of hunkered down right in the thick of all of this, and T5 that could have some vision. But 755 just going to cross the road itself. He's just going to walk across it, take it slow and steady, as they don't want to make a commitment into this. The moment they start trying to crest up that hillside, that time that's going to take, that just a couple of seconds, would be perfect for Little Ghost. So they don't want to go until he's gone.
Smart play by Tyloo here, throwing the smokes on the road, denying Sonic's division on them. Sonics will be the team that has to move first. So isolate the angle, go for a peek up towards Little Ghost. They don't like what they see now. They make the wrap around the southern side. Very, very well calculated plays coming out here from Tyloo.
Sonic's just still holding down that entrenched position. Ghost's going to try to move through that. Tyloo does manage to sneak that one by everybody, but they still have to be afraid of the backstab. Circle, due up center. We're moving into a massive valley for a lot of these teams to have to play around.
Keep in mind as well, Twisted Minds went out early in this one, and Sonics is well aware of that. This is their chance to catch up. This is their chance to rack up points, potentially even get into the first place spot.
They have got to be careful as they path down that hillside. Finally going to have to be moving out of it. Little Ghost, though, still clinging to life over here, realizing every single point that he can try to pick up. Unfortunately for him, the Danoa members right in the thick of the circle. So they just get to kind of hunker down, watch, wait, see what's going to be going on. And he has to deal with a full 4-man Tyloo still. They are pissed at him. They want him gone.
Sure do. Little Ghost doing everything he can to damage him on the other side. Nice done. Nice job done, I should say, shooting the molly out in midair, because that would have really limited the space that Tyloo had to work with. But great effort there. Take it out midair. Nothing that's going to be damaging on their part. Tyloo, last flash has been lobbed on forward. As you can only imagine, Ascent will be committed to in just a short moment.
Here's the risky part for the Sonics. They've got to move down that hillside, and this is going to be the most vulnerable point of their approach. They're running down. Little Ghost does finally go out. Corexy, though, spots out all these members. Tig, though, hits a big nade. That's a knock on the door if I've ever seen one. Now Fex moving in, trying to use the hillside for some type of cover. Tig's going to be able to spot him out, but look at this. Now we've got the fight. Also break out with there's a 5 on the other side.
This could not be any better for Sonics. They clear out the west, and in the meantime, the east takes out one another. A clean sweep might just be committed to, as they could continue to wrap around that southern side. Backfill 3rd on 5, and then take the fight straight to Tyloo. Now, Danoa has still got 2 players alive. You can never count out Soul and Anonix.
That is a power duo just waiting to see how Sonics are going to be making their move with this. It's going to be Path and Pong just kind of hunkered down pretty close to this position as well. Tyloo have been kind of the aggressors, having to move around through a lot of this very dangerous positionals and getting away with it. Still 4 members up, but it's been coming at a cost of a lot of armor, a lot of meds that have been having to be burned through. And I don't know if they're really prepped up for the end of this fight. Like you can see, 1 nade moving into this one versus Sonics, who should be sitting pretty well on guns.
Soul is prone just on the other side, so wait for Sonics to try and make any sort of play over that ridge. They'll be shot at by the entire server. Maybe not Path and Pong prone inside a shack right now, but everyone else should have eyes on Sonics. The thing is, for Sonics, they're close enough to the circle center right now that they don't have to move at least for another 30 seconds.
4 points is all they need to get up in that first place position. Tig holding the line, take the shots right into longs, as it is going to be Danoa just watching this so patiently, just waiting for their moment to strike right in the thick of it. Shin's going to be moving more aggressively. Let's not forget about Path and Pong as well. We are going to have a knock. It is going to be Tig that gets down one of the members of Tyloo. That's going to slow down a lot of what they're trying to get happen. And Path and Pong going to go down as well. Closer and closer to that #1 position by the second.
Sermsy finds the double as he peeks on over. Nice flank around the backside of the shack there, as they try and continue to maintain full control. Only Longs left alive as kill number 11 comes through for the Sonics. Now Tiggleton does fall right before the comment comes through, but now Mime over the top finds one. Anonix is a single player left alive. He's shooting. He's been seen. This should be a clean sweep for the Sonics.
Anonix has to hunker down inside. He knows the fact that he is highly disadvantaged. Nade's now going to start landing up on top of him. Can he manage to make a miracle happen? He's only a few points right back behind this one. He can maybe try to keep up with QM, but yet tries to run away. Not going to happen. Sonic's going to pick it up, and they are vibing.
I think Anonix tried to deny there, but didn't realize he had a jammer pack on, so he didn't take damage in blue. That's going to be the kill coming through for Sonics. Huge game for them to boot them up into the first